We're talking about apples for the viewers. When I was in Armenia, I had some of the best apples I'd ever had in my life. They were just, I think everything's organic, that's part of it, but I don't know. You know, like in the West, in a lot of places, like you don't know if you're buying organic or not. And generally I do buy organic, but even organic doesn't taste as good in the West, for me. I mean, in Los Angeles, let's say, or in the US. I don't know.
Any idea what it is? It's the secret to taste.
The less you fuck with it, the better it tastes. I think that's as simple as that, you know?
That's, in general, a good statement,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your music. Elected Dead, your album, it's almost a year old now. How do you look back on your, well, let's say your first solo year?
It's been great. It's been a really fun experience, you know. First making the record and putting it out, doing all the fun marketing things, and then putting the band together and doing the whole live thing for about a year. We've played a number of European festivals over the last 2-3 months. And that's been exciting, and, you know, doing like improvisational stuff between songs and doing covers, and I'm really excited about, we have a version of our song Money mixed with ABBA's Money, Money, Money.
Really?
So we've been kind of playing that. That's been going off really well at the festivals. I mean, you know, it's not world-changing, but it's fun. You know?
Yeah, but have you, as a musician, then you with your band, have you changed a lot in a year?
We've gotten a lot tighter, obviously. You know, the more you play, the more in sync you are, and yeah, I think we've gotten really, really good as a group, as a unit. You know, it's kind of like the end of that touring cycle, and in some ways it's a shame because, like, we're kind of really, really connected. You know.
Yeah, and I heard you're already working on a second album?
Kind of. I'm putting together all of the parameters that I would need for the second record. I mean, I do have a lot of songs, but I still want to write a whole slew of new songs. And I'm putting together a full world-class orchestra to record with the second record, as well as maybe do a live event with them. I'm also working on a play. I've been composing for a play, which I've done a lot of songs for, and as well as some films, composing for films. Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of films? Is there one project that's really...
I did some scoring with Harry Gregson Williams on this John Travolta, Denzel Washington film, just a little kind of going in and jamming with him and on different instruments. I did a song with Mike Patton for this movie Body of Lies, which is a Leonardo DiCaprio film coming out on Warner Pictures, probably early fall, I want to say. And looking at other films, reading some scripts to do some other stuff. And the play is with Stephen Sater. He's a playwright who did Spring Awakening. It's a Broadway hit, like an amazing play. If you've never seen it, you should see it. It's one of those genre-bending plays. And we're doing Prometheus Bound, based on Greek tragedy, and with a modern interpretation based on imprisonment, torture, and injustice. And I've done most of the songs for it. It goes from very classic type of strings and beautiful harmonies to modern songs to noise to electronic to rock, like really interesting, very sad, very, like I was in my hotel room the other night and I was listening to some of the songs back and I just got depressed. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out of here, I gotta go get some dinner. I just felt depressed.
How come?
I don't know. Usually my own songs don't affect me that much because I go through the emotions in creating them, so I'm less affected by them in the after effect. Maybe because they're not my lyrics, possibly, but it's my music and I sang on it just to demo, even though actors are going to end up singing on it for a record or whatever, for a play. I don't know. It's pretty depressing.
Okay. Was it for you the most depressing music you made, or how do you...
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think I could get even more depressing than that.
Still a misery where that's coming from.
Just drive straight into the eyes of misery, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah, what you're telling me, you're doing so many stuff now. Is it since you become a solo artist at this moment maybe the doors opened a bit, you know, you doing...
I've been wanting to do a lot of different things, and I think becoming a solo artist, or whatever, doing Elect the Dead gave me a lot more kind of confidence to do things faster and easier, and kind of, you know, it just started the road of more kind of art, all sorts of art coming to me, and trying things and doing things, and it's always stuff I've wanted to accomplish, you know. When I look at a project or a song or whatever, I just did a song that I want to use for Amnesty International 60th anniversary of Declaration of Human Rights. It's a song called Fears. I'll play that for you. I've got it off camera. Yeah. You know, I just love doing different things. I like doing music for different things, and you know, in some ways I wish I was at the conventions, because my friends from Rage are going to play, and so I wish I was there. You know, either to play or just to be there and blog, and you know. But we have these besides the festival dates, we have a bunch of makeup dates that we're trying to finish in Europe before going back. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm having fun, and I'm doing a lot of different things and growing artistically and progressing, and you know, music is the type of work that I can do until I die. You know, it's not, to me, it's not work when I write a song. I was in there working on new music, not for any particular purpose, but just writing stuff. It's what I enjoy doing, you know, and so
it never stops in your head.
Music doesn't come from my head. Music comes from the universe, you know. I just channel it and throw it out there, and then move on to the next thing. My head works when I'm doing business for music.
You feel that way, that the music comes to you? It's not something that you literally create, you know?
Mm-mm. It comes to you. It's out there. It's out there for all of us. The same, you know, vision you might have as a director or as a journalist, you know, which is an art, and they're both different arts in themselves, is that as well, you know. It's not all from you. Yes, your experience have to do with it, but it's you connecting to something beyond yourself that is art, you know, something with the, you know, collective consciousness or universality of things, whatever you want to call it. And that's where music comes from. Music is that intuitive medium that connects all of us. It's an actual waveform, you know, and it's very beautiful in that sense. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. Okay. One more time back to Elect the Dead. I read somewhere you said you didn't want to explain literally what it means for you, but you like to hear how people interpreted it. That's right.
Yeah.
First thing I was thinking when I read Elect the Dead was we in Holland there has been elected a dead. You were aware of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, some guy like was it governor or mayor or something?
No, he was he was since a few months a politician, and got very popular in a few months and got murdered. Just
got murdered?
Yeah, 1 week before the elections.
Oh, wow, I didn't know he was murdered.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
but you never heard that story?
What's the name of the politician?
Pim Fortuyn. It was in, I think, the world news.
I had heard of a story, but there are many stories of people that have. There was an old guy, I think, that ran for office. I'm not sure if it was in the States or Europe, that died before, I think natural causes, before he got elected. And then there was a plant that was on a ballot that won over a person. But a plant is alive, so that doesn't count. But it made me think of that for some reason. We should vote for the apple.
Yeah.
See if it wins.
Okay. Yeah.
Better than McCain.
Obama. Do you believe in Obama?
I believe that from the choices that originally I was supporting someone way to the left of Obama, because my politics is a lot more I don't know if you want to call it socialist or if you want to call it kind of more justice oriented than most centrist politicians, either Clinton, McCain, or Obama. But from that, the people that were elected in that top echelon, from Clinton and Obama, I definitely prefer Obama. And absolutely no McCain.
Yeah.
Novocaine? Sorry.
And why? Because, you know, there's this air of this positive change around him.
There's an air of positive change. There's a history of activism. There's a freshness of experience. There's an honesty. There's a sincerity, I think. Don't kid yourself. He's still trying to pander to the centrists so that he can win. Right now, they're in, you know, dead heat in terms of, like, they're even. 47% polls show, CNN polls, 47% each. And so it's tricky. I think Joe Biden's a good vice presidential candidate. I'm glad he picked him. I was actually rooting for that.
Yeah, you knew him before because
he was running. He was a Democrat running for president. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's a good.
He's got good foreign policy credentials and good, you know, he's come up he's come up from, you know, a very kind of blue collar background and established himself, and through politics he's never owned a business or anything like that. He's actually been a civil servant for most of his life, and he's worked his way up, and he's garnered a lot of respect from both parties, and he's actually a really smart guy. So I think he's a great, like, you know, he's more capable, God, he's definitely more capable than Bush, Cheney, and everyone else they've elected in the last 10 years combined, by himself, you know, as a vice presidential candidate, so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what you're saying, it's not your party, but it's the best...
I think Obama's definitely the best candidate, yeah.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I hope, you know, I mean, he's hired good people around him as well. He's surrounded himself with really smart people, from people working the web to Samantha Powers, who was originally advising him on genocide issues and political issues. And, you know, that's really important to know who you should learn from, who you should get your advice from as well, you know. Yeah. I think he'd have a very strong cabinet if he picked the right people.
Yesterday or today there was also a story that people were arrested who would have wanted to shoot him, you know, Obama.
In Florida?
In Denver.
In Denver?
Yeah. It was
really? I didn't hear that story.
But it was...
Really?
It was yesterday or today, but...
no way.
Do you consider something as that, because there's, I know there's some Obama hype going on now, aren't you afraid that something like that will happen or could happen?
I thought about that from day one. I thought, you know, he should just pick Dennis Kucinich as his running mate. That way, no one would kill him, because otherwise the most leftist person in American politics would become president. That's a way of securing your own life.
That's the way you think about it, yeah.
I mean, that's why nobody killed Bush, because Cheney would become president. That's even scarier, right?
Okay.
I guess I shouldn't be saying these things, but anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just logically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that stuff's always there. I mean, anytime you're in the public eye, there's always going to be a wacko. But,
have you ever been afraid of a wacko yourself? Of September 11th, for example?
I've never been afraid of a wacko. I've been afraid of someone disguising themselves as a wacko.
Okay, the wolf in... yeah.
But I've done a lot of work for, you know, obviously recognition of the Armenian genocide, and there were certain points in the United States in terms of politics, certain areas of the country and certain times where we were protesting Speaker of the House or stuff like that, where it got a little, you know, we without getting into specifics, we were told that we should be careful.
Yeah.
Not as a threat, but as an actual heads up.
And what did you
do? Ducked a lot. Like when on stage, I started moving around much more. You know, I wish I was kidding. You know, I had good security people around me that had really good contacts as well with, you know, different agencies and whatnot. So that kind of helped out at the time.
You never been actually afraid that you didn't have control over, you know, live or die?
No one has control over anything.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
It's a good apple.
Okay. Yeah, can we, in general then, I was saying, yeah, where does your politic and social concern, where does it come from? Where did it start? Was it already when you were a kid, or?
I'm either a kid or a preteen. I think it started from the hypocrisy of the denial of the Armenian genocide within a well-known democracy.
Was it really the first issue that?
Yeah.
And that's because
it's a personal issue. My grandparents both were survivors, and you know, so I thought, geez, if something like this is denied because of geopolitical expediency or economics, and how many other truths are there that we need to know about? Liberation struggles, human rights issues, labor issues, environmental issues, and start opening my eyes and doors to all these other causes that I started becoming interested in. Ultimately, it led to the understanding that it's all about justice and injustice more so than nations or, you know, other sorts of, you know, communities. It's more about balance, you know, no matter what the issue is.
Yeah, okay, justice, injustice, balance. To go really far back, I was wondering, you were born in Lebanon, and you left when you were 7. How were your? Do you have happy child memories? What kind of?
I do. Lebanon was a beautiful place. I mean, just from what I remember as a kid, you know. We left in 1975 just as the Civil War started. We were lucky to migrate immediately and get out of that mess. I grew up in Los Angeles. My culture is Armenian, obviously, which is neither. But so it's an interesting ride. I mean, I remember stuff like my school and the streets and just specific visual memories of Lebanon. But I also remember the last few months where the schools were closed down and we couldn't leave the house because there were bombs going off everywhere, and you can hear bombs falling in the sky. And it's a memory that doesn't leave you ever. If you've ever experienced that, whether you're in Eastern Europe or anywhere you've been in the world, if you ever hear a bomb fall, it's something you will never, ever forget. And I think it makes you less likely to ever allow your own government, for whatever reason, to drop bombs on another nation or people. Because bombs, as maneuverable as they might be, are wreak devastation, and you know, it's a pretty memorable thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So very happy memories, and then the very scary. Very What's the first music that you remember, you know, playing at your house?
It must be Armenian music, since my parents played that. Let's see. Probably Armenian music, first music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah, no. I like traditional Armenian music more than pop. But then I like traditional music of most countries more than their pop, you know.
What's your, what kind of traditional music from which countries do you really like?
I like hearing the character of the country through their music, not everyone trying to be Britney Spears with a different accent.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah, last question then. What was the rumor about you wanting to join the European Song Contest?
That was interesting. I was in Finland, and this Finnish journalist was asking me, would you ever consider doing a song contest regarding the Armenian genocide? And I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean? And he's like, well, there's this thing in Europe that is called the Jubilee. What is it called?
The European Song Contest.
Okay, that's what it's called. And would you consider? I guess I said something like, I guess so. You know, I'll find out more about it. And I think he wrote that I'm going to bring System of a Down to represent Armenia to do a European Song Contest. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? So I actually emailed the label in Warner, Finland, and I said, please have the journalist what do you call it, redact his whatever he had said, because it's not true. And it was all over the Armenian press, and everyone coming up to me going, "Oh, I hear you're bringing System of a Down to do an Armenian." I'm like, "Yeah, Tuesday." You know, like, what are you talking about? You know.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I think it was an eager journalist who kept. He asked me that question about 4 times because I didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
He wanted you.
He really wanted me to.
Yeah. Okay. Really last question then. Did you hear Scars on Broadway, the album?
I've heard some of the songs. John played me a few of the songs, and I saw one of their first performances at Coachella, because we played Coachella, and we were there hanging out all weekend. So the next day, John and Darren were performing, so I told John I'd go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it?
I liked some of the songs that I heard. Yeah.
And then the System of a Down question.
Right.
Do you have plans with the band in the future?
Do you want me to paraphrase it, or do you want me to just shorten it and give you the same thing I've said 20 times?
No news.
It's up to you.
There's no news.
You can pick. It's called A or B. A is the long version, B is the short. I'll do the B version.
Okay, do the B version.
There's nothing new.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Awesome. Thanks, brother.